Hello, 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 good people. Hello, people. I am Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Dr. Kelly's Perspective for Tuesday, May 28th. We are very quickly winding down the end of this month and getting ready to leap off into a new month yet again. So I've entitled this perspective Table Manners. Hey, Tanita. Table and Patricia. So table manners, and what you talk about table manners. When we get an invite to sit at a bigger table, to sit at a table with a larger platform. Hey, Mary, thank you for all who are joining me. When we get an invite to level up our surrounding and who we get to sit in the midst of, some things don't need to change. You've got to remember your table manners. And by that, I mean some basics, just simple basics. For one, don't show up empty handed. And by that, I mean, well, before you decide what you're going to bring, what you bring is determined by who is at the table. What do you bring to the table? What can you even offer? Why are you being invited? You need to know when you go to a larger table, and by larger table, I mean a larger platform, a larger place of influence. When you've been invited to level up and step into a larger arena, you need to know what you have to offer. And sometimes, because that's a new arena you're stepping in, if the goal is to get invited back, we need to recognize that why am I even here? Look around. Who else is at the table? What do they bring to the table? And then figure out why you're there. Why were you invited? Not that you need to back up and necessarily like, oh, I'm not worthy to go. I'm not going that route. Because if somebody invited you to a larger platform, they see something in you. There is a reason why you have been invited into that larger circle of influence. But you need to know what you offer. You need to know what you bring. And so when you know your worth, then you know you got an idea of why you've been invited to the table. Okay, so just don't go empty-handed. And sometimes it's better for you to sit back. Like imagine when you go to a super fancy restaurant that they've got 3 and 4 courses meals and you got like 20 pieces of silverware and you didn't grow up like that. You might want to watch what other people are doing so that you don't grab the wrong fork and embarrass yourself and not get invited back to the table with the big boys and big girls. And so that's where I'm coming from when I say your table manners. Remember, recognize, know your worth so that you understand why you've been invited to that larger platform. When you look around and you see who else is there, you need to like not slunk down and oh my God, what am I doing here? I don't even know what I'm doing. Be prepared. When you get the invite, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. What's the dress? What's the attire? Brush up on some. Know why you're there, what you bring to the table, know what you have to offer. I believe in staying in your lane. I believe in staying in your lane. When you jump out there and try to be someone that you are not, look, they invited you. This is what I want us to recognize. You were invited. Hopefully not your facade. If that's what you've been putting out there, you're going to have to keep it going. That's why I say so. My husband says this often. It's very easy to repeat me. I don't have to guess about me. So be who you are. They invited you to the table. They want the real you. So stay in your lane. Don't try to become, an expert at global warming if you don't have the slightest idea. You don't know what's going on over there in Syria. You have no idea where Kazakhstan is, and now you're trying to stay in your lane and bring who you are to the table. If the goal is to get invited back so that you can be in a new and larger and wider place of influence, a new and larger and broader place, a wider platform, then, my mother used to say, act like you got some sense when you go out. Okay, you don't need to bust through the door talking about, hey, okay, you already got the invite. They know you're coming. They invited you. So bring the real you. Bring who you are. That's what you have to offer. That is what you can bring to the table. Bring to the table the person they invited. That's all. And one other reminder of good table manners: don't be above the act of clearing the table, because that might be part of the expectation that everyone who comes and sits at this table has not only something to offer, but we are all in this together, and recognize that if it's going to get fixed, it's going to come from within. No one's going to swoop from the outside to come in and save us and clean this thing up and get this thing straight and let's make it right again. Those who are at the table are sometimes expected to clear the table, to clean the table, to restore the place back to its original best state. So don't be above the cleanup. Don't be above rolling up your sleeves, jumping in and doing the work. I'm using the table as the analogy, but I'm talking real life. If you are above cleaning up and figuring it out and washing what needs to be cleansed and scraping off the stuff that no longer is worth anything, let's scrape. If you are above that, you may not get another invite to the table. Okay, I'm just saying, please and thank you go a long way. When you are invited to the table, don't go empty handed. Bring the real you. That's who they invited. And do not be above the cleanup part, the fix it up, the restore to a better state. Always leave something better than when you first arrived. That is my offering to you today. Make it a terrific Tuesday, and thank you for joining me.